Learn game development. In today's video, we'll be starting the journey of me learning programming and game development. My current experience is the following. I have a bachelor's in information science. I also switched from computer science after calculus 2. Got super burnt out and pretty much just switched my major to information science from computer science. I was almost done with computer science. I just had the physics left, but was so burnt out that I just wanted to give up with that. And I have 2 years of IT experience and I have a couple games under my belt that I was able to create with tutorials, documentation that we'll also go through as well. Before we look at the games, I want to give you all a roadmap for the future plan learning game development. First off, we're going to start by learning GDScript, and I'm going to try to start with the basics. I remember back during my senior year when we had to deploy a web application for my school. We were using the MERN stack and I was doing nothing but documentation daily. I was documenting our process creating the app, and then I was also in the official React documentation. I feel like I need to do the exact same thing here, but for game development, go into the Godot documentation, really get familiar. I want to be really good with the gameplay programming. Like I said prior, I have web development experience and I now want to transition into gameplay programming. Then step 2, I want to do a tutorial. I'm looking to do the Brackeys 1-hour Godot tutorial. Shout out Brackeys since he's now back and focusing more so on Godot and open source. And I'm also going to pair this step 2 with an additional tutorial. I'm just trying to make sure that I don't get stuck in tutorial hell. I felt like I was stuck in tutorial hell in college. I just need to remember, like, use a tutorial, make a game. Step 3, start the project and create a prototype. So that in parentheses pro is literally just me getting a prototype out as fast as possible. And that's kind of reinforcing that step 2. Let's not get stuck in tutorial hell. Question of the day, if you could make any game, what would it be? Would you go for a Call of Duty killer like X Defiant or compete with sports games like NBA 2K and Madden? Put your answers in the comments down below for a chance to be in the future video. Now let's go ahead and take a quick look at the games I've created so far. I'm gonna be honest, they're nowhere near the Call of Duties or the 2K, Madden, games like that. I still have a long way to go, but we all start somewhere, right? So it's funny that I'm showing this project first. This was pretty much a NBA Quizmaster that I made in Unity, and like I said before, it's funny that I'm showing this because this game had a bug in it and it was only fixed because of itch.io and their settings that they have. Pretty much, long story short, it was a resolution issue that I did not fix, nor did I have UI in this game. There wasn't correct UI as far as settings and being able to get out of the full screen. And when making a game, that's the most important part. Having the player have the ability to have their settings go in and out of full screen and pretty much just change the settings to their liking. My first game, I didn't realize you have to think about those things. Now I'm showing these games out of order. This wasn't my second game, and this is just a Pong clone that I made in the Godot engine. So I just want that to be clear that you don't think that this was my second game. I don't even know what number game this was. I did have experience in making websites, so I remember the software cycle, especially the way how it's taught in school. But the game dev side is just get something done, get something playable, and I love that type of goal. I really enjoy that type of goal because it gives you that reward, especially as a developer. You want to see something very soon, and it makes me want to continue to work on the project. Yes, it's a clone of another game. It taught me a lot, and also I kind of fell in love with the Godot engine. It's super lightweight and it's just exactly what I need for right now, and the cherry is that it's also open source. So now let's take a look at my second game made with the Unity game engine. Now this one was a little bit different, and again, we're starting off with bugs. I'm gonna be completely honest, doing this whole game dev process, it's really making me learn that bugs are not a problem, because in college it used to be a big mental break for me. I used to get very confused when there was a lot of bugs in my websites and in my other desktop applications they had us creating. I didn't really understand that bugs aren't really a bad thing. It's just letting you know that something is going on. There's a warning that you should fix something for the players. Didn't really understand that. Now with game development, it makes so much more sense. And pretty much the issue I was dealing with, one of the bugs at the beginning of this clip, if you did not notice, you can see your mouse pointer, and that's just something you don't want players to see unless your game is a point and click type of game and you want your users to see that. Then it would make sense. For my game, it didn't make sense. Towards the end of the game, you get all the way to this last level, to the second story, and you hit E on this keyboard and it will drop the ladder and allow you to escape. But as you guys can see, I was going back and forth. The reason why, because it wasn't working. For some weird reason in this game, I was dealing with a huge issue where you just, for whatever reason, could not hit E on the keyboard unless you are angled in a very weird position. So that this was a bug that I was trying to fix, it just didn't work. As you can see, you have to be angled at a certain way looking away from the computer, and you'll know that it works because this ladder is not originally there. It drops down once you hit E on the computer, and then boom, you can now finish the game. This is called Dodge the Creeps, and it was a game that I made in the Godot engine. I learned a lot making this game. Obviously, each game that I create, I just learned so much, which is why I feel like I finally kind of got the bug, not talking about software bug, but just I feel like I have that addiction now where I can finally see the reward and the dopamine. Every time I make a game, it makes me want to continue to just progress and make another game. I had a lot of problems with this project. Things weren't working. I went back to utilizing the Godot documentation. If you don't know, you're going to make this game if you follow the Godot documentation. And it just kind of reminded me of college again, reminded me of that process. If there's a bug, if there is a warning issue, whatever it is, if I'm going through some type of problem, it's most likely in the documentation. Not even most likely, you'll find it in the docs. And I'm just getting used to going back, using the docs, and just utilizing that to help me fix any problem I have when it comes to code or trying to figure out how to add something to the game. This kind of gave me some ideas as far as what I can do with the mobile game. This is really just a mobile screen that I kind of did. I just didn't add any touch screen functionality, but I could really see kind of changing this. Instead of utilizing the keyboard, we kind of add some type of touch screen functionality in the code, and this could literally be a phone game. Okay, I felt like I couldn't leave the video without showing you guys what I currently have for the game. I was able to work with 2 artists, and they were able to make me the current assets that we have. A little tip that I would give: work with people that will only give you the source file. So really quickly here, I can open up the source file. As you guys can see, I have the source file. So this is very powerful. If there's something that I don't like in the overall project, I can come in here and change it. I can give my own flavor to the project. A lot of artists don't do this. When I went out and looked for the person that I wanted to work on this game, I made sure that this was something that they were okay with. The second artist actually gave me all the work and then didn't give me the source file. It's just things that you have to ask for. You know, I paid for the work. Can I get the source file so I can make my changes and we don't have to continue doing these like revisions? But some artists don't like doing that if they use a lot of templates, and there's a lot of reasons why people would not want to give out the source files that they work on for their clients. This is like the mock of like a level, you know, the first level, and obviously things can change. Shout out my girl. My girl kind of gave me an idea that possibly will change the game. It's something that I'm kind of toying with and thinking, because the current idea is that this guy over here, he is supposed to be the main character, right? So that's supposed to be the main character, and the game is supposed to go from left to right. So he's supposed to start over here. Don't make fun of my drawings. As you guys could probably tell, I'm not an artist. So he's supposed to start right there and go right to left, as I said before. In this game, there is no jumping. So instead of like jumping to get to this, he was supposed to dash. So that is like the mechanic that I'm thinking of, dashing mechanic. But I don't think he is going to be the main character. I think the new idea is that we're gonna have a different main character, which is fine. I just need to start going in and actually developing that and seeing what that looks like. So yeah, that's what we currently have so far with Killer Square. Like I said, a lot of things are going to change. And like I said before, a little bit of advice: if you are gonna make a game, try to make sure that the artist that you work with will give you the source file for the things that you have. As you guys can see, I have like everything in a PNG, everything as a sprite sheet as well, and then all the individual things I was able to get him to give me the source file, like I said before.